Hey friends, I am finally starting to work on my December Daily 2025. I did start working on foundation pages earlier this month, but as life always goes, things got busy and I could not work on it during the month, actually doing my pages. But I did do my calendar. I've got some ideas for the days. I also took notes in my phone. So let's look at where I'm at right now, and then I will probably get started on day one. So I'm going to open this up. I did do a reason why I don't normally, but I loved Allie's version of this, so I decided to do something similar. So inside is pretty similar. I used one of the frames from the main kit to do the shaker. This little joy is from I think this is last year's Stories by the Month. It was just one of the little chipboard. Stars are from the main kit. And then this I just printed out from one of the printables on photo paper because I like the way it looks better on photo paper. And then added some washi. This is actually a vellum piece from that same December kit. And then I love this Fa La 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 washi. I love it. So for my envelope, I actually took one of the wreaths from this was from the product play from the stamp kit. It was the digital. So I printed this out on my laser printer. I have a very, very inexpensive laser printer. Like, it's not even Wi-Fi. I have to walk my laptop over and hook it up. But this is literally one of the only things I use my laser printer for. Anyway, so printed it out on laser paper or on my laser printer and then ran it through the ink. And you can see I used the green foil and I love how that looks. And I did add some magnets. I also added some washi along the side because when I was messing with the magnets, you can see here I kind of ripped the envelope just a little bit. I should probably add some in here too, but I just wanted to give it a little more stability for in my album. I don't imagine this is going to be opened and closed a whole bunch of times, but I didn't want it ripping. So I love this envelope so much. So I've got that, and then I've got the table of contents that I'm going to use. I did not adhere it to the back here because I will probably actually leave this out so that I can write on it. It just makes it easier. This is I printed this. I got the printables, the extra paper pack, and then I added some enamel dots. This this bow is from last year's kit, and then that is just from my stash. So I love this. An early start to Christmas is the secret to a longer season of happiness. Totally agree with that. So you'll see a lot of things in here. I actually followed what Allie did because I really liked what she did. So I love the idea of doing pre-December stories. So I have the digital from these 4x6 cards and I ran it through the Mink machine. And then these are digitals, I think from, I did product play and then I also did the prep day. So I can't remember which one that one was from. Probably product play. And then I made a little shaker with the 2025 3x8 or whatever size it is card. And then I also did the green one on the back. I love how that looks so much. And stitched it with my red thread on my sewing machine. And then I used those fun star sequins that I got on Amazon. And I love how that turned out. So, okay, so moving on, I have this kind of put in here. This I actually created last year with last year's kit. And I already started kind of doing a little bit of journaling. I've got journaling on one card, and then I've got a photo on the other one. And I'm thinking I'm going to change up the embellishments just a little bit and I had grabbed some from this year's kit. So these are the cute little tags. I grabbed the number 1, and then these are from the Star Mini Kit. So I'm thinking I might change out. I'm not loving these long ones on here, so I'm thinking I'm going to change those out probably. So this is either going to be story 1 or 2. Probably 1, but I'm not sure. And then I'm probably going to stitch on here because for some reason this is kind of coming off. I think because this is so rigid, when the paper bends, it just kind of pulls that. So, and these were actually, this was a 3x8 vellum pocket, I believe, that I cut down and stitched on here. So we'll probably just add some holes on the side and put this directly in the album. So I've got that. This is also from last year that I created and I didn't use. So I will probably, I'm thinking, do ornaments, new ornaments on here with the transparency ornaments from last year. Let's see. I've got these from last year that I did not use. I've got the on the regular paper, and then I've got the transparency ones. So I'm thinking I might put these on here. I'm not sure yet, but I threw that in there because I would like to use that at some point. I've got this here, this frame. I think this came in the pack that had all the shaped pages, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of left myself a little note there that maybe make this into a shaker. Maybe put this along the bottom, potentially. And then the perfect day to stay in and watch Christmas movies. I thought that might go somewhere on there. This is from either last year or a couple years ago. So I've got that in there as an idea. And then I've got this page in here from a couple of years ago that I didn't use that I want to use on day 5. I already have an idea for that. I want to make sure I use this. I used this similar one last year that I loved. I've also got this in here that I'm thinking I might want to do something like attach these together, or I'm not sure, but or maybe put it this way. I don't know. But I've got it in here just as an idea. We got a new tree, actually a couple new trees, so might use it for that. Who knows? I've got this. This again is an idea from Allie. Here for the magic. This is the transparency 3x8, and then attached to this 6x8 paper. Not sure. I'm thinking I will actually put photos and cover the whole thing. Not sure. And then on the back, I kind of put this on here as a potential. And then I left myself some notes to maybe stamp. Let's see, this one, where is it? This fa la 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 along the top, maybe in some embossed, gold embossing. So I'm thinking that maybe, or who knows, I might want to put a photo on the back. I don't know. That's why I put the paper clip on there. And then this was an idea from Product Play. I did record myself creating this page, so I will, not sure if I'll insert that now or when I actually put this page together. Maybe when I put this page together. And I have these attached on here because I'm thinking I'm going to put these in here. So I've got those, and I freaking love this page so much. So much. Looks kind of like a hot mess on the back, but that'll get covered up. I've got this tag or label shaped. It wouldn't be a video of mine without dogs barking. I've got this label shaped paper that I added some vellum on the bottom and stitched it on there and just made a pocket. And this is one of my little tags that I created. It's actually, well, this one's not a shaker. I didn't put anything in this one because it's so small, but I did add a transparency on the back with a couple little tags on there. And then I put these in here as a potential, might want to use them, not sure. These are tags from either Prep Day or Product Play. Can't remember. Might be Prep Day that I printed out that I might want to use. So I put those in there. Put that little guy in there. And then I've just got this little divided page protector in here. I've got this shaped paper that, so I printed, I've got, oh, I see. I'd leave myself notes so that I can remember what I wanted to do. So I think I'm thinking that I will put that here and have a magnetic closure or something. Or I think if I remember correctly what I was thinking I would do something like this potentially. I don't know. It's just an idea. This is just a printable, and I was thinking I could put photos or journaling on the inside here. So I've got that in here as an idea. Just when little ideas kind of pop in my head, I put them in here. I may use them, I may not. Just an idea. So then I've got this last one that, again, left myself a note. I've got these 4x6 cards, and then I've got this fun cityscape transparency. And I'm thinking I actually have a day in mind where we went to a Christmas market, and it didn't look like this, but I don't care. It's Christmassy and snowy, and I just love it. So I'm thinking I'll attach that and maybe put this along the edge, and probably maybe do a photo and journaling. Maybe I'll use one of those tags that I had in there, maybe something like that. Not sure, but I liked the idea of that. So I've got this in here. That's not going to be until mid to late month, so I have time to think about that. I also want to make sure to use, well, it's just white paper. I really want to use snow globes somehow in this album. I really love this paper, so I would love to do something with that. And then I do want to do that flip up that I've seen Allie do and so many people do. So these are just printables that I printed. Well, this isn't, or is it? No, this came with the kit. So I do want to make sure to do those at some point, hopefully. Let's see if there's any other ones. I love this one. This one might be I'm thinking this one might be either a Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or a post-Christmas layout. You know, the Christmas season for me doesn't end on Christmas. This is actually the time where I can really take time to relax a little bit, enjoy, really sit back. You know, the rush is done. So I want to kind of maybe do a few pages after Christmas. And then I'm just looking through some of these. Let's see if there's any more I really, really want to use. I really love that one too. I think, no, that's not a printable. So I love this wreath. I don't know if that will get used at any point. I love these two pattern papers as well. I love it all, but there's some that are really, really my favorites that I want to use. So that's what I have set up for my December daily. I also have these fun tags that I created with the die cut tags that came in the main kit, and I will insert the video on how I created these right here. Okay, so these die cut tags, I love these that came in the main kit, and as soon as I saw them, I knew I wanted to make some shaker tags out of them. So I'm just kind of going through my stash. I've got some vellum, I've got some pattern transparency, and I'm just kind of figuring out what I want to use for the backs of these. So you'll see here in a minute, I will end up sandwiching these between the tag and the vellum and the transparency so that I can put some sequins in between the vellum and the transparency. So right now I'm just kind of cutting you can see I'm cutting the clear transparency, and then I've got some just regular vellum there, and I love that green, and then I'm going to cut out that pattern transparency right there. I first try to cut it with my circle punch, which I knew it wouldn't cut with that, but you know, I tried anyway. So then I end up just grabbing my scissors and cutting around that. Probably should have just started with that from the beginning. So, and then once I get that cut out, I'm going to cut out a piece of vellum as well, and I'm going to stitch those together. I kind of went back and forth between the regular vellum and the green. The green looked really nice, but I was afraid you wouldn't be able to see the sequins between the pattern on the transparency and then the green color. So I ended up using the green on that 25. The 25 tag was the only one that I didn't actually, well, that one and the stars, I didn't make those into shakers. I just kind of added either a transparency or vellum behind it just to kind of give it another little bit more dimension. So you can see here I'm kind of going back and forth. The green does look good with it, but like I said, I end up going with the regular vellum and using that green on the 20. For that round 25 tag, I'm actually going to take one of the gold glitter stars that was in the star mini kit and put that right in the center, and then I will stitch across that to keep the green vellum attached to the tag. I didn't end up making that one a shaker tag. And then I've got my other tags with the sequins in them, and those are all stitched up. So I'm just going to punch the holes. In a minute, I will add some embellishments, but first, after I trim those off a little bit, I'm actually going to take some of my Stickles glitter gel. So I have two different kinds that you'll see me use here in just a second. They're both gold glitter, but one's more clear. It doesn't have quite as much of the gold glitter. So originally I was thinking I would like the the one that has more of the gold, that one right there. But I ended up really liking the clear one, so I ended up using that one on the rest of them. But you just kind of spread this on, or I did with my paintbrush, and it's got glitter in it, and then it's also got these little gold stars in. Here I'm adding the one that's more clear, and you'll see I'm just kind of spreading it around with my paintbrush and kind of trying to get those little the bigger stars to kind of stick where I want them. So thankfully it doesn't dry super fast, so you can kind of mess with it and get the stars where you want to put them. But I really like how this looks on the outside of these tags. It just, adds a little something so it's not just a stark white tag on the outside. So um just having fun playing with these tags. This was kind of what it was all about. I was just kind of having fun and experimenting with different things that I have in my stash that I don't necessarily use all the time. So once those tags were dry, I pulled out a couple of these craft tags. These were from a December Daily kit years ago. And I was just kind of playing around to see what they would look like layered together. And then I grabbed some of the the little banners that came in the main kit, some of the plastic stars, and I'm just kind of playing around and seeing what I want to layer on each tag, what color I want to use. I think I stuck with a lot of gold, just because, I mean, obviously it looked nice on these. So, um, I don't think I added any embellishments on the round ones, but I'm just kind of playing around, seeing what I want to put on there. And then after that, I ended up actually pulling out my embellishment box because I knew I had some more plastic stars in there. There was a December Daily last year, the year before, I think it was a couple years ago, that had a bunch of plastic stars in it. I ended up grabbing one of those, and these little tags are from the mini star kit. I was playing around with those, seeing what those would look like with it. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't use those little tags because I ended up using those on my day one, which you will see in the next video. But there's my embellishment box. I'm just grabbing out a few more stars and seeing what would look cute. I really like that little round star tag. I end up keeping that one on that tag, but just kind of seeing what would look cute. And I end up pulling out there's that gold star that has like the gold edge on it. I really like those. I can't remember what kit those came in. I don't think those were a December Daily kit. I think it was one of the other kits, but anyway, just playing around. At some point, I finally just decided to make a decision and stick with it because I could play around with these embellishments for like an hour. But on the Holly Jolly, I ended up just going with two different gold stars. One of those, I believe, is from this year, and then the other one is one of my gold glitter stars from a previous kit. And then I kind of pulled out those little canvas word phrases and ended up stitching that on the bottom of the round 25 tag because that just added a little something. And then you can also see here I have some vellum tags. I was kind of seeing what those would look like with it. And who knows, when I end up actually using these tags in my album, I may end up layering a few more tags along with it. But I have no idea what I'm going to use these for. I just wanted to play around and just make a few embellishments. These, aren't going to be used for, journaling or photos or anything. They're just gonna kind of add a little something to whatever page I decide to use them on. So um, then I'm adding some twine on the tags. On the round ones, I added the red twine that came with the little tags in the mini star kit. Those were a little tricky because the twine is really short, but um, it worked out just fine. And then I ended up adding a few different twines on the other tags. Um, and then I end up switching out one of them on the joy tag. I added one kind of twine and then decided to switch it out with the same one that I used on the Holly Jolly. But just kind of playing around, like I said, and having fun with this. Okay, so that is a look at where I'm at, my starting point for my December daily. I also added this page in here, this page protector for maybe Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with a couple of the 4x4 tags. That star is from the Star Mini Kit, along with, there's a vellum piece as well that I've got those kind of layered. And I may put something in the center, I'm not sure, but I've got that in there. I've also got this transparency that says, may you never be too grown up to search the skies on Christmas Eve. And then on the back side, I just have a few more cards. So I know the lighting has been a little wonky in recording this, so I apologize for that. I'm trying to not record in the evenings, so I've got a couple other pages done. My day 1 and 2 are done, so I will be sharing those in the next video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.